I am totally stunned. Most of us, I get it, pick Trump to win the debate. Forget all of that. Forget all of that. I have a confession. I've been having nightmares. I just can't get over what I saw last night. And I got to give credit. Okay, credit to Trump. Trump was prepared. Trump was on point. He had his facts. I thought Trump did very well. And we knew going in that Biden was not as articulate as Trump. But that simply was an ass kicking. Uh, yeah, okay. People lose debates all the time. I get that. That happens. But it's rare when you see someone destroyed in such a fashion. I can't ever remember seeing such a thing in all of my life with professional politicians. It was humiliating to Biden. I felt sorry for the United States of America. Even though I hate Joe Biden, he's a corrupt man. Seeing a once great republic having a leader that clearly has dementia, clearly has Alzheimer's, there's no question. People saw this. I won't show clips because YouTube had this policy against showing clips of the debate. They were trying to protect Biden. I don't know if they still have that policy, but fuck them. Thank you for Rumble and X. We were able to cover the debate last night, but you can see the clips. Go on X. Biden at one point, when he was talking about abortion, made the claim that we have a problem with sisters raping people across the country. It was incredible. It was an implosion of Biden. This is something that the rumors have been out for a long time. We've all seen it, but the media's been trying to run interference for Biden. Remember in Europe, Biden started to walk away, and the prime minister of Italy, I guess she was a tard wrangler for that day, and she had to wrangle him back in. It was embarrassing as American. And the media tried to spin it like, oh, well, he was just so intense in his thinking. And Biden is looking like, yeah, Biden has a look if you ever go into a nursing home. And if you're older, I'm sure you've had family members end up there. It's a sad situation. Boy, man, you go into those places, it's depressing. But you see a bunch of people that look just like Biden with their mouths open, they're drooling, and they have that vacant stare like they don't know where they are. That's how Biden looked last night. And it wasn't just last night. He's been looking like that for quite a while. And there's been articles by the Wall Street Journal a month or so ago where they had 56 people, sources tell them, both Democrats and Republicans, that Biden's not there anymore. And it's obvious last night, the world has seen that Biden's not really running the show. After the debate, his wife Jill treated him like a little child. First, Biden couldn't even get off the stage by himself. Jill had to try to help him off the stage. It was a step, maybe 6 inches step, and Biden couldn't navigate that. Biden looked confused. And Jill talked to him like he was a little kid. You did really well, Joe. You answered all the questions. And he's like, totally oblivious. It was really painful to watch. It's funny on a level, but it is painful to watch seeing a man end up in that position. But this is where we are. And it was in Atlanta. And then Joe, after he was leaving, said, goodbye, North Carolina. He doesn't know where he is. He didn't understand the debate. Not only what he said, well, it's hard to understand mostly what he said because he had that whisper. I was fearful that because of all the stimulants they gave him beforehand, and he was on stimulants. If you look at his eyes, his pupils were dilated. But they've done that so much for him, it's not working anymore. And usually when you're on stimulants, you get all hyper and you're really talking loud. I thought we were going to see the angry Joe Biden, but we got the nursing home Joe Biden that's like in a wheelchair about to die, that's just whispering out his last thoughts. That's what we had with Joe. And in many cases, we couldn't understand what he was saying. One of the best quips in the debate was Trump told Biden, said, I don't know what you said at the last part there, the last 30 seconds, and I don't think you know what you said, but let me answer the question. It was funny because it was true. It was embarrassing. And they did everything they could for Joe going in. They made it so there was no audience. They're trying to make a very sterile environment because any noises would distract Joe. They understood that. They had this on CNN, which is a network for the Democrats. The Democrats control that network. So Trump went into hostile territory. They gave all the advantages to Biden, and it didn't matter. And the optics, just by showing the two men together, and there's not much age difference, it was just profound. Trump's old. I give you that. That is a concern, but he's still able to talk. I could have him on my show. We could go back and forth. As you guys know, I'm not like a Trump cheerleader. There's many things I disagree with Trump about, even last night. But he could understand. He could interact. Joe can't do that. And no, Joe hasn't always been that way. If you go back to old interviews, search YouTube and look at Joe Biden speaking in the 1980s. He was never the smartest guy, but he could sit down with a reporter and go back and forth and be really sharp. Now Joe, he's a nursing home patient. Jill has to lead him around. He looks very confused, that he's always about to fall. He just tunes out. It's an embarrassment to the country. And this is where we are. And this is why I predicted that they had the debate so early. Usually the presidential debates they have after the convention, typically in September and October. Typically they have 3 debates. Maybe one debate they talk foreign policy, another debate they talk domestic policy, and then maybe a general debate. Then they have the vice president's debate. That's the way it's been in my lifetime. But this was new this year. The Democrats said, no, we got to have Joe earlier in June. And I think I know why, because they wanted to do a test run with Joe to see if they can prop him up another 4 years and get him through this. And if not, they could make a change. And I don't see how they don't make a change at this point. In fact, the Democrats, political, and a lot of these other websites that are Democrat, left-wing, they are saying that Joe needs to step down for this race. He needs to be replaced. And seriously, he shouldn't even be president. There should be the 25th Amendment now. I don't want Kamala Harris, but it's obviously we don't have a president really running things. I'm not sure who's really running things. This is a problem right now. We don't know who's running things. It's not Joe. If you look at Joe, you understand he's not running anything. He can't even control his bladder. He has no control of anything. So I'm not sure who is controlling it specifically. Maybe Anthony Blinken. I don't know. I think there's a power struggle going behind the scenes here. But this is a dangerous situation. And the world has seen this, that we have a guy that's senile as president, and it's a disaster. What happens next? I think they have to replace Joe. I think it's just obvious that he can't do this. There's not going to be more debates. Joe can't do any more of these debates. It will just get worse. Joe's not getting better. He's not getting younger. Dementia doesn't improve with age. He's going to be 82 this year. Supposedly by the end of the term, if he won the election, he would be 86. But based on how I see his physical condition, I doubt he lives for another 2 years. If you've ever had old people and they start to decline, it really accelerates near the end. And he's in that phase where it's really accelerating. Yeah, he gets really good medical care. Maybe they can prop him up for a while. But he's close to being in a wheelchair, just sleeping all day. Like Jimmy Carter is now. It's a sad situation for America. I don't really care about Biden because he's a corrupt man. He's an evil man, so fuck him. But I feel bad for where we are in America. And then we're going to have Trump be sentenced. We could have a Democrat judge literally throw Trump, the leading candidate now for president, into prison. We're in a mess. We're in a mess right now. I told you guys, buckle up for this year, this summer. It's going to be wild. And we're going to have a lot of wild things going. It may not even be Trump and Biden by the time we get to the election. Trump could be in prison. The Republicans could replace him. And Biden, I don't see how they continue to go with him. He will have trouble standing up at the convention. Jill will have to lead him out there. It was embarrassing last night. It was embarrassing to be an American. Even though I hate Biden, it was embarrassing to have this as our so-called leader, our president, make such a fool of himself to the entire world. It's a sad situation. I remember the glory days of America, the Republic. This was such a country to be proud of. We had brilliant men like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and now we have a guy that is literally saying we need to protect abortion because sisters are raping family members, and God knows what he's saying. He has his mouth open. Most of the debate, he looked confused. His mouth was open. He was drooling. This is pathetic. Talk to you guys later. And if you guys want more discussion about this, I have a Gumroad group app, or subscribe to me on Substack or Twitter. And tonight we're going to have a roundtable where everyone can kind of discuss this in real terms. Subscribe to me. It helps me. Thank you a lot, guys. And I will see you next week. This is Friday. Happy Friday.